Welcome to WAMD, the We Are Motor Driven podcast. Welcome back to the We Are Motor Driven podcast. I am Brendan Appel. I'm here with my friends Jennifer Jensen, Harvey Briggs, and Paul Harold. And today we are going to be talking about the best cars we have driven over the last year. And we might throw you a few favorites at the end of this podcast. So be sure to subscribe. And hey, if you haven't checked out any of our previous podcasts, now's a great time to do that. And those are all of our podcasts are pretty much timeless. So you can check those out anytime and you'll still be entertained. But let's start the conversation today with Jennifer. Jennifer, what have you driven in the last year that is really kind of sticking in your mind? Give us some of your highlights over the year.
I was going to say, ask somebody who's driven like 80 cars in the last month alone. Yeah.
No, I haven't driven 80 cars in the last year. I don't think I have. I've driven fewer cars this last year than I have in like the 5 previous years. Not like combined, but you know what I'm saying. It's been an interesting year. And I think it's worth noting this is a good podcast to have just because we're starting to get to the end of the quote unquote model year, right? As we roll into summer. And so we're switched from 25s to 26s as we're recording this. And it's usually a good time to buy a leftover 25 model car, you know? So this is a very timely podcast. And, you know, favorites is such a weird word because I'm always like, so people ask me all the time, you know, hey, we're looking for a new car. What should we get? Right? You're an automotive journalist. What car should we buy?
Yep.
And I know you guys do. So it's like, well, what are you using it for? Well, you know, for our family. Okay, well, get a minivan. You know, are you going to take it to the track? No. Okay, get a minivan. So it's like, how many people in your family? You know, like you've got to get the use case before you can answer that question.
Yes.
Because cars have become so niche across all of the different markets, whether it's small, mid-sized, large-sized sedans or coupes and convertibles. And unless you want to buy a manual, then it's a very minuscule number of cars you can go shopping for, which sucks. But so Brendan asked me my favorites in the last year. I think there are probably 2 that stand out for different reasons, but they're both from the same company. Any guesses before I reveal them?
Can we get the company? I'm going to guess Hyundai.
Nope.
Hyundai. No.
Nope.
Oh, Genesis.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Then
Harvey, you gotta
I'm
guess?
way off.
I'm going to guess BMW.
Nope.
Oh.
Audi.
Oh, wait. Ford?
Brendan's close.
Porsche.
Nope. Keep going down that
Volkswagen?
route. Yes.
Okay.
Volkswagen.
That should have been our first guess.
It should have been. You guys know me well enough. For those listeners who don't know me, I'm a huge Volkswagen Audi girl. A bunch of Volkswagens in our house. Both my kids drive Volkswagens, and I've got it's way too many Volkswagens. But anyway, so I was fortunate enough to go to the ID Buzz launch out in San Francisco late last fall, and
Did you put flowers in your hair when you went to San Francisco?
I didn't do it in my hair, no.
Did they have a little vase like they did in the Bug?
No, what we did do is tie-dye shirts, which was kind of fun.
Okay, I'm with you there.
I did do mine green and yellow for the Packers, so green and gold. But it turned out really nice. First time I ever tie-dyed a shirt, so that was kind of fun. But I've been anticipating that vehicle for a very long time. You know, I'm trying to remember all the different names. Yeah, everybody has.
All the different 12 names. Years you've been waiting for this thing?
Well, okay, so in the New York Auto Show in 2011, so you're not too far off, Brendan.
No, not far off at all.
Volkswagen had the Bulli, Bulli concept. And I just looked at it like, I love this thing. And I still have a picture of me standing next to that. Like, I want this someday. And it evolved so many times since then. Ironically, they also had in the New York Auto Show at that show, the Mark 6 Golf R, which I did wind up buying. So
and
the
of
ID
course you got
Buzz,
it in a special color, right? Of
no,
course.
Rising Blue.
Okay.
Rising Blue, which is the Golf R color. If they had special colors, Paul, you know me too well.
I know you very well.
We did that in our next Golf R. But the ID Buzz, I really enjoyed, and I had the great fortune to drive with a Tanya Gazdick, who is another automotive journalist, and she was my partner for that event. And what's the name of the little windy road that goes down in San Fran?
I know the windiest road in America.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it.
I cannot remember the name either. I know exactly which road you're talking
Listeners,
about.
we're lame tonight. It's been a long week. Sorry, but I am burned out. Anyway, we staged a photo because with the old Volkswagen bus, they had done a photo. Volkswagen had done a photo with a bunch of buses there, right? So they recreated that photo, and we were like the third van in that row, which is really cool because that's like some historically significant photo, which is awesome because we were the first wave. So anyway, we had a great drive. It was a great event, and I really liked the ID Buzz. It's a firm ride, but it's controlled. The power is great. I think the range sucks, but it's also too big. And Mark Gillies,
the short wheelbase, right?
No, we only got the long wheelbase one. Mark Gillies, the Volkswagen product manager or Volkswagen PR manager for North America, and I had a long conversation about this, and he agreed with me that they should bring the short wheelbase here. But he's like, they think everybody in America wants big, so we only get the long wheelbase. And no, they're not wrong, but I really enjoyed the ID Buzz. So
you took it down Lombard Street.
Thank you for Googling that.
Thank you, Google.
You betcha. So that one was really fun, and the event was fun, and I really liked the bus. It's really useful. I think they could have done a little bit more, seeing as how it's an EV. There's no frunk. There's your mechanicals, your like washer fluid and your air conditioner, condenser, and all that stuff. But they could have been a little bit more creative, like the concept they had right before the actual Buzz came out, where like the front seats turn around and you can take out the middle row and like face each other and all that stuff. And you can't. It's basically just a minivan in drag, but it's good drag and it's impressive. So I really did like.
I drove that as well, and I have to say, everybody waves, everybody smiles. It brings happiness to wherever you go.
Yeah, absolutely. So that being said, I will say we had ordered one like 3 years ago, deposit down at the dealer, like when this comes out, and it came out, and ours came in December. And it wasn't for me, it was for my spouse to drive to and from work because it's about a 60-mile round trip. And I was like, an EV would be perfect for you. And you like this thing, so let's get this. And we went and test drove it. And my sweetie was like, I hate this thing.
Oh.
So we did not get our ID Buzz. I still like it though. I liked it. My sweetie did not. So
what did your sweetie not like about it?
The ride. There's a road by our dealership that has some pretty significant breaks in the concrete, so that you can heave. Like if you're in a GT3, you're going to be bucking like a Bronco, right?
Mm-hmm.
The ID Buzz was bunking like a Bronco, and actually got a little ill and told me I cannot drive this thing every day. And I was like, all right, we're not going to buy it for you.
Yeah,
then.
I totally understand that, because that was also the impression that I got. It's like the wheelbase, like they adjusted the suspension on the short wheelbase, and then when they elongated it, they didn't like retune it.
Change it? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, because it's
a fixed suspension. It doesn't
felt
change.
out of sync, So I totally get that.
But here's the thing: out in California on twisty roads, like on Highway 1, right? It handled, and that's the benefit of a firm suspension like that.
Yeah,
and that's the way I drive. My better half does not drive that way. So it's just like, nope, we don't want this. All right. So that was one favorite. And that's like a big family vehicle. I wish it had better range. I wish we had the short wheelbase version, but I still really enjoyed the ID Buzz.
And it sounds like it needs adjustable dampers.
It does. I think there should be you should put what is Volkswagen called? Dynamic chassis control, DCC.
Mm-hmm.
You need that in there. Which brings me to my other favorite car that I've driven, the Mark 8.5 Golf R. So I had a Mark 6 Golf R. We don't have it anymore. I have a Mark 7.5 Spectrum Golf R manual. Thank you very much. Mark 8 came out and I was like, oh, I'm going to love this more because it's new, so it's better. Nope. We actually have a video comparing our 7.5 to the then new Mark 8. And in every dynamic, the 7.5 was better. So
that's not saying a whole lot for VW.
Yeah, no, that was bad, right?
Volkswagen Audi Group does this all the time, where they'll bring a new iteration out and it's not better than the previous one.
Yeah.
And Porsche does it, and, has done it before too. So
that being said, the 8.5 is awesome. The only
Okay.
downside is you can't get a manual. It is
Yeah.
PDK only, but it's really good PDK, and it's got the short little stubby shifter thing, Prindle like Porsche 911s have, the little tiny
Right.
one. But the car is fun again. It doesn't feel robotic like the 8 did. It feels more natural. You've got the slip and angle control stuff like the drift mode in there, and the car, it just delivers. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, I'll say it right now. The Golf is the best car for anybody. Period. Just the Volkswagen Golf. Outside of the US, it's like the best selling car, and there's reasons for that. Like it's continued on its existence. We're on the 8.5 now, so they evolve it, and it's not revolutionary, it's evolutionary. So they just keep improving it, except the Mark 8. And actually,
It's
the
like
Mark
the
7,
everyman's 911 essentially is
seriously,
what they've done.
yeah,
Yeah.
like the Mark 7, Brendan, going back to your thing, the Mark 6 we bought, loved it. Like, and I drove it back to back with the GTI when we bought it. I'm like, is it really worth like $4,000, $5,000 more than a GTI? It was. The all-wheel drive made a big difference.
Yes.
And the power bump made a huge difference. And then the 7 came out. I'm like, I'm going to love the 7. Nope, didn't like the 7. 6 is better. 7.5 came out. I was like, yes. 8 comes out. Nope, not better than 7.5. 8.5 comes out. Yes.
It's like
those half steps
They're like a
really
little half step.
really matter.
Because
no.
the new model comes out and people bitch about it. I'm going to say
Right,
it just
right.
like that. And then Volkswagen fixes it. What they didn't change, they took out a manual worldwide. Like you can't get a manual anywhere, which sucks.
just absolutely terrible.
But in Europe, apparently they put hard buttons on the steering wheel. And in the US, they left the haptic ones, which they work fine. I actually don't have a problem with them. The volume switch works really well. Like the toggles work really well. They improved it, but still,
It's still not a
knowing
hard
hard
button.
buttons is so much better, period. Always, forever.
It's
Any
funny because
automaker.
as a
Period.
golfer, I can relate to the second ball. I'm what you'd call a second ball scratch golfer. It's like the first shot.
Nice.
No, do it again. Okay, that one worked. So that's how Volkswagen just be like, second iteration.
There you go. I love it.
Perfect car.
So I think over the last 12 months ish, those would probably be my top 2 choices. So kudos to Volkswagen on delivering a couple of really, really fun vehicles, at least for Jennifer's vote. So, all right, who wants to go next?
Let's see, Harvey. We haven't heard from you in a little bit. Go for it.
Cool. Yeah, I think a couple of cars that I've driven in the last year that I really liked. One, we'll all, I think, be on board with this one. The Subaru WRX TS version. They have that's the Subaru WRX TS, which stands for Tuned by STI. Now, since that launch, they have said they're coming back with a new STI.
Did they?
But, huh?
I didn't hear
Are
that.
we
Did they
breaking
really?
news? I didn't
Yeah,
hear that.
but
Nice.
still, it feels more like a rumor.
Okay.
So we'll see at this point. But it's certainly not going to be the 340 horsepower car of the previous generation STI. But that
making
TS
faces.
really surprised me. I mean, first of all, super well balanced car as you would expect. The all-wheel
course.
drive. We got to drive it at Riverside. Sonoma Raceway. So great track to drive that car on. And what was really fun was I got to ride right seat with Scott Speed, and that's his home track.
Oh,
Great name for a race driver, right?
Yeah, and so he did a phenomenal job of demonstrating the capabilities of that car, and it's available with a manual transmission. So,
That's awesome.
it ticks all the boxes of it's a car you can take to the track. You can drive it because it's tuned by STI, but not an STI. It won't beat you up on the street. And then the other thing I really liked about it is that it's 4 doors. So, hey, it's your family car. So tell your spouse that, no, honey, I'm getting us a sedan and
love
enjoy
the
it
sales
when they're not
pitch.
around. Yeah.
That's
no,
fantastic.
I was really pleased with the way that one came out. I really enjoyed driving it. And that's a car I would definitely put on my list of vehicles that I really enjoyed. Another one, that I liked, and it kind of surprised me because I generally am not big on this category of cars, is that sort of midsize SUV. I had the Audi Q7 for a long road trip, and I was really pleasantly surprised by how good the ride was on that and how well it served that purpose. I used to have an A4 that I really enjoyed, an all-wheel drive A4 that I really enjoyed. But it's a car that typically is more sporting, and I always think of Audis as being tuned more for performance. And while this one you certainly could with the adjustable suspension, it made it phenomenal. I picked it up in Chicago, drove to St. Louis, was a brilliant drive the whole
Nice.
time. It's fast, comfortable, especially when you get at the premium levels with all the accoutrements on it, like, massaging seats and the rest of it. It's the kind of car you want to drive a long distance in. So those would be two highlights for me of many. I'm not going to talk about the Rolls or some other.
Harvey, it's so funny to bring up the Q7 because that's actually third. Like I was debating when Brendan asked ID Buzz or Q7 because I had one of those down in Arizona, and I actually reviewed it on a racetrack, which is not where it's meant to be. But the drive from where I was at to where I was going was about 4.5 hours, 5 hours. And some of that was in heavy traffic. Some of that was because there was an accident and traffic was backed up for miles. And the Q7 just delivered across the board. And I was like, oh, yeah, I could see getting this thing.
Yeah.
So,
I really
definitely a good choice.
I prefer it to the X5. I just feel like it's a much. It's just a better vehicle. The technology feels better. The way it drives better. It doesn't feel so pretentious.
Yeah.
Which BMWs have started to get. So I don't.
Hey, watch it there. Watch it.
No, see the 2 Series I'm okay with, but when you start to get up to the X7 and the 7, the 7 Series and those things, and they're starting to really push the luxury segment, and I like to come back
and
just
I guess,
a bit from there.
I guess that's why the Q7 is the foundation for the Lamborghini Urus. So there you go.
Well, yeah. I mean, that you talk about platform sharing. That's a company that does it as much as anybody.
I would take an RS Q8 over the Urus. Having driven both, the RS Q8 is stellar. The Urus is really good, but it just doesn't feel like a Lamborghini. But the RS Q8 feels like an RS, which is...
What does the RS Q8 come in at? Do you remember the pricing on that?
A lot less than the Urus.
Like
literally like
most houses come in under the
$100,000 less.
And it's basically the same underneath. How did you guys like the haptic or digital display under the infotainment? There's that separate panel that's got the heated seats and the HVAC and all that. It's not hard button. How did that over a trip work out for you?
It's the kind of thing where in general, you're just tapping it once or whatever. So it's not like you're playing with it all the time. Yeah. Once you set it, you kind of are done with it. But yeah, I would prefer hard buttons.
Well, they do a thing too on that lower screen where it clicks. Like you see it, but also there's a pressure to it. Like there's a clicky that happens to a physical feeling. And I had to get used to that. So I had an RS6 several years ago, 3-4 years ago, whatever. And that was the first time I had those double screens, and I hated it at first, but then I was like, once I got used to it, you kind of know where you're pushing, and there is a click that affirms that you're doing something. Does that mean I always hit the right thing? Nope. Especially on the move, but it's not terrible. Yes, we prefer hard buttons. Period.
Yeah. I remember on a test drive that I distinctly didn't like it, but you're in it for 5, 10, 20 minutes at the most on a test drive. So
yeah,
I haven't had this vehicle for a long time, but that was the one thing I remember distinctly not liking. Everything else, I had an S4 and I loved it. It was before all of this digital stuff really showed up, but it's a beautiful looking car. Do you remember what yours stickered at, Harvey?
want to say it was around 125, but I might
Wow.
be wrong. It was loaded.
Yeah.
Loaded.
And that's, the base price goes up to about 80 on just the base Q7, but that's you can clearly add a lot of options.
I might be wrong, but it was a while ago, so
Okay,
might have been 115, but it was over 100. I know that
for the
Yeah.
Q7.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so the one
loaded.
I had, 2025 Q7 55 TFSI Quattro, base price 65. I just pulled up the Monroney. Base price 65.8, as equipped with the Prestige package, Bang & Olufsen upgraded sound, black optic package, all-wheel steering, and trailer hitch, with destination of 1195. Was 88,790.
Huh? So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Bit of a
Yeah.
bargain there then.
maybe
Yeah,
I'm wrong. I must
11.95
be
for-
wrong. So let's just cut that part out.
Sorry,
No,
we
it
don't do that.
stays in hard.
It stays in.
No, but
Yeah, actually,
but
it was
no,
funny.
what that
I
says is-
looked at. I thought I looked it up online, but because they never sent me the Monroney for that one, which I hate it when manufacturers do that.
I do
when
too. Yeah.
'cause
put it
how
in the
am I
glove box,
supposed to-
people.
What
Yeah.
it says, Harvey's saying that it's 125,000. What that says to me is you felt it was worth more
Whoa,
than the
yes.
actual sticker price.
There you go.
Right,
So
which means
It
it's the
felt like
value.
$125,000
felt like
car.
120, easy 125
Easy.
grand. Could have been
Well,
150.
and yeah, I mean, I'd take that over a Bentayga. So
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. Did you have the pop-up tweeters in the
Yes.
corners?
Yeah,
Oh,
that
that's
sounds
Those are
system
cool.
does that,
Very
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
well,
So
yeah. I mean, with a vehicle can engender those kind of feelings where you think it's worth a whole lot more than it is, and it has really cool features like those pop-up tweeters, and it rides well and drives well, and it comes in at a still high, but maybe not so bad when you're considering all the luxury brands that compete with it. Then that's what makes it one of your favorites, and there's a good reason for it.
In point is also like the we just drove the Charger EV 2026 Charger EV at the rally with all the
Right.
journalists, and that came in as tested 89,000. And I mean, it's a hell of a car, but
What?
it was 89,000.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
I just did a video on it, so I know.
I haven't seen it yet. It's been a busy week, but
And if you want to
But
see those
what?
videos, go to YouTube and search "We Are Motor Driven," and you'll see
Yeah.
all of them.
yeah, there's
Yeah, and-
links below wherever you're watching.
Yeah, and so
listening.
88,000 for all that luxury. That's like a bargain.
True. Yeah, I mean, that's my sticker price on my Ram truck was probably more than that what the Q7 is stickered out at. So it's luxurious and it's big, but it's probably, I think that value wise, people would see more value in the Audi than they would in a truck.
So going back, I'm just pulling up, since I'm sitting at the computer here, I've got a file that has Monronis for all the cars I've had. If they give them to us, Harvey, if they give them.
Yeah.
I don't have one for the RSQ8, but I do have one for the 2020 Audi SQ8. Okay, so this is 5 years ago, and that was 107,490. Base price of 89. So the base price of the 2020 SQ8, which obviously has the 4-liter V8, bigger engine than the Q7 that had the 6, but so 5 years ago, 107 for an SQ8.
I
The
just
S8 looks
checked. I think the Q7 I had came in just a little over 80.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the 8 series in that Q lineup from Audi is just gorgeous, and that's again, I think it's a less boy racer-ish
Yeah.
version of the Urus, which that's the grown-up version in my mind. If you want to look flashy and stuff, you buy the Urus, but if you just want to be a grown-up with a nice, very nice vehicle like in that segment, get the SQ8 or the R. Do they make an RSQ8?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
that's
the
the
one.
one.
Out, that
That's
is
the
the
one.
Urus. And I just looked up a Google thing. The 2025 RSQ8 starts at 137,495.
Yeah.
It's sad that none of us are really like, oh my gosh,
That's so expensive.
Because everything seems like it starts at
The
120
prices of
grand.
vehicles have gotten just absolutely insane. Like
Yeah.
I think the average is
Yeah.
just under 60 now or something. So it's just
And since
or-
you asked before, Brendan, sorry, Paul, I was stepping on your toes here, but the base price for an Urus is 242, so it is $100,000 difference.
yeah, 100 grand.
There's
yep.
no one walking out of a dealership with a 242.
No, they're not. It's 400.
No, because it's like, oh, yeah, exactly.
You want paint on
I would
that?
say 300 minimum on that.
You
Yeah,
want paint on that. That's a good one.
you,
So,
yeah.
Paul,
You
what
want a
have
steering wheel?
driven?
Well, okay. So for me, okay, obviously, being that my colleague is Brendan, so it's going to be tough to like go over cars that only I drove because we've driven them together.
Go do them
So,
together. You might have
um,
different favorites.
yeah, you don't
yeah,
like
yeah,
Probably
exactly.
do.
So, but in this year, it's been just absolutely crazy at work. So, in case you didn't know this, listener, this is on my full-time job. I'm not a journalist as a full-time job. My actual
What?
job is a kitchen designer.
A very good kitchen designer.
Thank you. And Brendan is a lawyer, right? So we do this.
Don't hold it
sort of
against me.
like,
A very good lawyer.
yeah. Well, okay. Anyway. So we do this in our part-time, and it became it started as a hobby, and now it's we love it so much that, we wish we were doing it full-time. But so we don't have a chance to drive as many cars as Jennifer and Harvey do, but the cars that we did drive this year, basically lots of them were electrics, believe it or not. So it's like the press vehicles that the manufacturers like bestow on us are like less and less gasoline and more EV, which is fine, but it's hard to get those gasoline loaners for the week.
You can tell what the manufacturers want you to like by what they put in the fleets, and you're right. It's so
what
many
they want to
electrics.
promote for sure.
Promote, I should say, not
exactly,
like, but
and
promote.
not just in the fleets for the week long press drives, but also when we go to these journalist rallies, like lots of the cars now. It used to be like they would only have like one or two electrics. Now it's like mostly electrics and one or two gas.
Yeah, that happened really fast.
Yeah,
the switch
exactly.
over.
And the people that are like maintaining the press cars are like pulling their hair out because they're trying to charge them in between, like trying to put them into chargers, and they only have like level 2 up at the Road America where they have this rally. So like they're like, oh, it's like it doesn't have enough power. We have and then like during lunch they're like figuring out like what car is the most important car to plug in, and it's a logistical
They should
nightmare.
literally. They should rent the Hyundai's.
The big monster trailer
portable.
thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we talked about that.
Yes.
They might have to start doing that, but I think this year they try to avoid that. But yeah, those level 3 like huge.
It's like a hydrogen
It's funny.
power
It's
charger.
diesel. They're diesel, and which is the irony of it all. But
The dirty diesel.
they're gonna use diesel to charge up the
Oh, I love it.
EVs. But anyway, so before I get into that, one of the Ford was nice enough to send us down to the off rodeo down in the Smoky Mountains in
Oh, yeah.
Tennessee.
Yeah.
So that was a fantastic time in the Broncos. So, and when you drive these off road 4x4s, like they're capable, that they can go off road, but you
Yep.
really have no idea what these things can do until you put them in the proper environment.
Yeah.
And going to a Ford off rodeo and driving these things, you really walk away with just so much respect for these these SUVs that you just cannot believe what we went through and what kind of tracks and mud and muck and holes and everything that we got out of.
Tree branches or trees themselves. Yes.
Yeah, and it's great because they have like professional guides and these trail masters people, and they guide you through it, and you're just like, I can't believe we just got out of that. It's just they're unbelievable.
Makes you want to
And
buy a
having-
Bronco, doesn't it?
It does.
It really does. And they
does,
hardly
and
break a
then-
sweat on those trails either.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like sometimes like you go over this stuff and it was like nothing. Like it didn't even break a sweat. It's just they're unbelievable.
I did the off rodeo with that down in Austin, Texas, and you get to try features that you just never use, like
Right.
that trail turn assist,
Mhm.
where you
Yes,
hit that button
yes.
and you can almost pivot the Bronco around a corner. It's unbelievable.
The sit and spin.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Not quite a
It's-
tank turn, but yeah.
It's
Getting
really
there.
unbelievable, and those buttons, the hero buttons on top, when you can lock the differential and
The sway bar
and the
disconnect.
suede bar disconnect and all that. It just
Yeah.
it's
and they're
it's
right
unreal.
there where
And they're
you
right
want
there,
Yes.
and you can. What's great about the Bronco is you can activate anything at any time. You don't have to like put in
Stop.
neutral or stop
Yeah,
or anything like
yeah.
that. So it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. So, it just sheds a new light on what is capable in off-roading. So that was like one of my like wow moments. Now on the expressway, different story, but
A bit of a wind block.
yeah, but off road, that thing is just absolutely amazing. And then now I know I talked to Jennifer about this, and she was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" Jason Camisa absolutely destroyed this car.
Yep, I know what you're talking
Absolutely hates it. And I was like, "Well, I don't know. I mean, I disagree with the guy. What can I say?" But I think, and I think Brendan can say the same. We fell in love with the BMW M5 Touring.
Yeah.
Absolutely love that car. The power, it's so luxurious as well, and it just
Handled.
it handles great. And everyone's saying, "Oh my God, the thing weighs like what 5,000 pounds or nearly 5,000 pounds," and so which is crazy, ridiculous for a sedan or
Because it's a
wagon.
hybrid and it has the giant battery in
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
And so that hybrid, the only hybrid I've seen in a while that has a gas guzzler tax attached to it as well.
Yes,
Hilarious.
which is the irony of it all,
Yeah,
right?
that
But,
hybrid is not there to save gas.
No, it is there to just kick
Torque
your
fill.
pants into the next
Yes.
time zone.
It's so quick.
But so one of the things that the biggest thing was the weight. But as we're driving this, I'm like I'm even telling Brendan, I'm like, okay, the acceleration is off the charts, right? The power is there, the performance is there, you have handling for days. It's like, where's the weight penalty? Like
Mhm.
BMW engineered the weight out of the vehicle, not physically, but as well, just in terms of how it handles, how it performs. Like the weight is not a negative, even though it is a heavy car. So
Till you
taking
get to the
that
pump.
till you go, oh yeah, oh my God. But I think you can drive it like 30 miles on EV only or something.
And then you can plug it in. It's a
You
plug-in
can
hybrid.
plug it in, right? So there you go. You never, if you're just going a couple miles here and there, you never need the gas.
So you want to blow the doors off the car next to you then.
But I mean, we're two people in the car. We're hitting like 3.3 seconds, 0 to 60, consistently, not just like once or twice. It's every time we hit the gas. Like my race box is saying, 3.3. It's unbelievable how quick that heavy station wagon is.
Behemoth.
Yeah, and I know the Audi RS6 is also an awesome wagon as well.
Even
You know,
faster,
with-
apparently.
And
Yep.
yeah, apparently off the line faster. I think the M5 eventually, I think it by the quarter mile beats it, but it's a close race. But yeah, it just was, as far as like cars that we drove this year, just a stellar vehicle. Just loved every second of driving that thing.
So you're saying it's not the Chevy Chase family truckster?
No. And you know what? It's funny is when we did an episode last week about famous
movie
movie
cars?
we
Movie
never
cars.
mentioned the
The vacation
family
vehicle?
the
truck.
1979 Ford LTD station wagon.
I would love to see somebody buy that M5 Touring, and I'm so glad BMW brought it to the States.
Yes,
Um,
finally,
yeah.
finally.
That's awesome. So kudos BMW. Please, people, buy them because we want more wagons here. But I would love to see somebody buy an M5 Touring and paint it like the family truckster. That would just make my life.
There's
That would
gotta
make
be
me
a
so
road.
Woody on
happy.
the sides,
Yes,
Hilarious.
that green.
With
that
the
would be
Woody,
so
yeah.
cool.
the green with the wood. Yeah, that would be
Come on.
awesome.
I would love that.
That's
That would
great.
be fantastic.
All right, Brendan. So Paul talked about his, and like he mentioned, you guys usually do these reviews together. Sometimes you do cars separately, but you hit us up. What are yours?
Well, it's like Paul said, we got inundated with a lot of EVs, which are fine. We had a whole episode on EVs. If you haven't listened to it, go
Fine.
listen to it. You know,
Just swell.
just swell. I mean, because you know, I want to like and I want to have on underfoot a gas engine that I can hear and I can like. I'm very visceral. But that all being said, I was very impressed with a kind of a swath of EVs this year. And if you have, well, I guess we could start at the lower end, in that it's only, I think, about $90,000. Having owned a Volvo XC90, which is, you know, was a gasoline, I think it had 250 horsepower. I had a T5, which was not the supercharged, I think just the turbo. Nice vehicle. And just, you know, did everything well, nothing super great. Get into an EX90, which is the electric version. Looks nothing like it on the inside. They completely redesigned that car.
Oh, it's absolutely gorgeous inside.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And it really blew my socks off. I mean, just really having, I think maybe more so because I owned the gas version
Right.
of this car.
Right.
And it was just, it was like night and day. It was totally a different vehicle. It drove extremely well. It was very nicely appointed inside. Just
And
really an
fast, too.
impressive.
Really,
vehicle.
really
yeah, I
quick.
know.
Really
Very
quick.
fast.
Yeah, it's interesting because that's one of those, that's the category of vehicle where I don't think you get the EV penalty because you're not really expecting, right, the visceralness when you're
Yeah.
talking about a luxury full-size SUV. And so you go, well, it rides better, it's quieter, there's the packaging's better, there's more interior space, all this stuff. And so, yeah, I was blown away by the EX90 as well. That was, I spent a little time in it. So glad to see
mean-
you like some electrics.
Exactly. Well, I mean, if you
The right use case.
exactly right use case, but if you want to be surprised by a vehicle, like go test drive that one, because nothing could have surprised me more. I think, as Clark said, as we're talking about
Griswold.
National Lamp Police, if I woke up with my head sewn to the carpet, I wouldn't be more surprised than I was driving that vehicle. So that one, and its very close cousin, the Polestar 3,
Yes.
which was also very impressive. And that one's more like a car. It's kind of like, it's almost like the Crown, I think.
Yeah, it's like an elevated car kind of
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
to it. Yeah.
But really impressive. It shares a lot of components. Volvo doesn't want you to know that, but they're basically kind of kissing cousins. And it's really just a very, very impressive car. The other one, I will go up in now price tremendously. That was really super impressive was the Escalade IQ.
Oh, yeah.
Holy
Gorgeous.
Moses.
Absolutely unbelievable.
I mean, I think I called that car. We just did a video of that too, so check that out. But it's a baller vehicle. I mean, just absolutely want to roll up like you
You own the road, literally.
right, exactly. I own the joint. I own an entire basketball team or something like that. And it's just such a well done representation of what is possible to do in a vehicle. I liked it more than the Cullinan. I really
Oh yeah, I know. I agree. I agree.
better
Absolutely.
executed than the Cullinan.
And we're talking Culligan, Rolls Royce. Yes.
Rolls Royce.
Wow. That's saying something.
Yeah,
It
that
is
was saying something.
I didn't. I honestly didn't particularly like the Cullinan, but as well as I liked the other Rolls that we drove, which
Harvey
was the
pretended he
Ghost
didn't say
2.
that. Just pretended he
I
didn't
know.
say
I'm,
But the Ghost.
I'm actually, when I reviewed the Cullinan, I was brutal about the styling on it. It is one of the ugliest cars on the road today. And I was really worried that was the design direction Rolls-Royce was going at the time. So when they came out with Ghost 2 and then Spectre, I was like, oh, thank God.
Bullet Dodge. Ghost 2, beautiful and wonderful car. I love that car. But man, there's so many cool things about that, about the Escalade. First of all, the AKG system.
Yeah.
Holy Moses. I didn't know audio could sound that good in a car. I thought
In a car?
audio. In
Yeah.
a car.
It's got
Wow.
like 36 speakers. Like it's off the charts. It's unreal.
I have not driven this thing, so now I really want to.
I thought the Lincoln Revel
really should.
system was good, so I'll have to get in and try that.
Yeah, yeah.
You will be amazed. I mean, I literally couldn't believe that anything could sound that good. It's just that the distinction in the channels, the apps, the way that it's perfectly executed. It's amazing. And what did that cost? It was a couple thousand, $3,000-$4,000, I think, for that option. And it was on par with, if not better than, the one that was in the Ghost, which was a $13,000 option. So well executed. You can open and close the doors, all of them, with the touchpad in the middle. It's got that giant screen that goes from edge to edge. It actually works really well. And unlike the Navigator, which has you looking over the steering wheel, not the Navigator, not even the Aviator, the Nautilus, which is an edge to edge screen in front. So like what I'm talking about is your dash screen goes from the left pillar to the right pillar, and there's no break in between. Really cool concept. I really kind of dig it. I liked it in the Nautilus, and then we get into, but the Nautilus, you look over a shortened steering wheel, so it's kind of like this squarish squircle, they call it, and you look over that, so you get no head-up display. But in the Escalade, you do get a head-up display, and it's normal. You're looking through the wheel now, so it's just more of a normal type setup. But there's so much going on up there, and it all works well. The passenger can watch YouTube, which I was doing, and the driver can't see it until they put it in park.
I could not see a screen at all until we put it in park, and then boom, now I can see a screen. It was so cool.
So many cool things. But the vehicle, what does it weigh? Like 8,000 pounds. It's not a Hummer, but it's almost there.
9,000 plus. Yeah,
9,000 pounds. It's quick. The handling is sublime. It's just it very much is approaching the Rolls Royce level. I mean,
yeah, and we had 89% battery with 416 miles of range.
Oh, yeah, that was the other thing.
The range is off the charts.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
good.
That's why it weighs 9,000 pounds.
Yeah, and that's why it weighs 9,000 pounds.
Because it's got
Can
9,000
you imagine
batteries.
if they can get the battery weight down, like just even cut it in half, and that thing weighs 6,000 pounds or 5,500 pounds, and now the range is so much more because it weighs so much less. So yes, technology, once it gets there, you're going to have these really cool EVs, and if you could charge it up in 20 minutes or less, okay, I totally get this. This actually could work for everybody and not just the certain use case scenario. But man, that we saw it at the auto show last year. It was one of our best performing TikTok videos I think we ever did. Is we just kind of showed it. They weren't driving it. We were just showing
the display screen. Everybody went nuts for the display screen. Yeah,
everybody loved this thing, and then you get in it and you're like, it's actually better than you thought it was going to be from that preview. Just kudos to Cadillac for doing a fantastic job. Now, the only problem with this vehicle and every other GM electric vehicle is you won't get CarPlay. So you have to live in the Google universe. Boo, boo. But man, other than that, on that drive,
there's ways around that though. You can install
are
little things, so that's not a big deal. One thing I just want to back up real quick when you're talking about the Polestar 3, and we talk about this in the video is. And maybe Harvey and Jennifer, maybe you can shed some more light on this. Why would Volvo, who isn't really, the biggest brand out there and doesn't even have like a full line brand, like it's not like they also sell pickup trucks and heavy duty trucks and stuff like that. So they're more of a limited, line of vehicles. Why would they break out with a Polestar brand? Now, obviously there's that direct to consumer thing that they wanted to try like Tesla did or does. So I understand that, but is the profit you're going to make from that worth doubling your marketing dollars, doubling your showroom dollars, doubling your,
design
repair dollars, your design dollars, doubling everything for just to be able to go to direct to consumer?
Well, it wasn't just that though, Paul. The whole point of Polestar used to be
it used to be the tuning brand of Volvo. Yeah.
Right. They were a separate company. Volvo bought them and brought them in-house, like AMG with Mercedes. AMG was its own entity, and then Mercedes
and
bought them.
with BMW. Yeah.
M was always part of BMW though.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
but-
So AMG to Mercedes. Yeah.
Yep. And so Polestar was the performance tuned version of Volvo. Then they got this brilliant idea to break it out as an electric only brand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So and to do that, they wanted to eliminate some of those costs you just talked about, like the dealer showrooms, by not having them. Right.
Yeah.
So Polestar, I've never agreed with the decision. I don't think any of us would have agreed with the decision.
I
And the
really
question-
think it was. Oh, sorry. Go
The
ahead.
question that we asked Volvo back then when they broke out with Polestar was, well, aren't you going to have electric Volvos? Like,
And the answer
what's the
eventually
point?
became yes.
Yes, now they do. So it has now become a redundancy, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean,
that wasn't the
I always
case.
thought initially, yeah, it was a hedge, kind of
Mhm.
thing to say, okay, we can have an electric brand and we can have Volvo, which is electrified but not electric.
Right.
And but the market's going that way, certainly in the classes of cars where they're building them. So,
But when
I
you
didn't
sit down, when
understand
we
it
sat
either.
down in the Polestar 3, I mean, everything is the exact same as the EX90.
90.
Yep.
Everything, like the only difference was on the steering wheel, instead of a Volvo, there was the Polestar symbol, but everything else, the steering was the same. The cockpit, the seats,
All
the
the switchgear.
speakers, all the switch, everything. It was like they just literally lifted it
Yeah.
out of this one and
Yeah.
put it in that one and called it a
By the
different name.
way, one of the coolest things in both those vehicles, as far as switchgear goes, is the seat adjustment knob.
Yes.
So you know how like if you're looking for how to fix your seat or how to adjust your seat in most cars, now I mean, you're feeling down there and you're like, I've got like 6 things I can move, right?
Right.
Not on the Volvo, not on the Polestar. It's one knob and you twist it or you up it goes in it's one thing that moves in all the directions.
Right.
And it's so intuitive. Paul and I were like, why wasn't this what
First.
everyone
Yeah.
Why,
Yeah.
like, why do we start here? And I think it's because, like, Mercedes puts it on the door and it looks
Right.
like a seat.
It looks
and
like a seat. Yeah.
Right. No, they figured it out. This one button does everything, and it's so Scandinavian design where it's just simple, but it works perfectly.
It works perfectly. Yeah.
But yeah, that was that's when I knew, because when I got into it and I go to move the seat in the Polestar, and we just got onto the Volvo, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the same exact switch, because I'd never seen one before, and now I've seen 2 in 2 cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if they were hedging their bets that maybe this whole electric thing isn't going to work out. So if we have to jettison Polestar or bring it back in house, we can do that and not destroy the Volvo brand, because we can keep it sort of half and half, do hybrids, do electrified. But now I don't know if they keep going down this parallel path, because it does seem like a complete waste of resources if you're going to take Volvo and make it an electric company, which, they're going, it seems that's the way that their direction that they're headed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talking about Volvo electric cars, have you guys driven the EX30?
No, isn't that the one
No.
that is sort of not made it here yet?
It's the little one. Oh no, it's here. It's,
Oh, it
it's
is?
the little electric vehicle. It's a Volvo EX30. It looks tiny from the outside, and its footprint is small. It's smaller, I think, exterior than the XC40, which is their small SUV. But
Right.
inside, it's bigger because it's electric. It's packaged, you guys, really well. We talked about the Ioniq 5 in our EV episode, and how we all like the Ioniq 5 because of its design and the way everything's done like an EV. It's a little bit different. The EX30 is Volvo's version of that. It's really good, and I do want to buy one as a runabout. Like, it's a really good car. All of the switch gears in the middle. There's nothing on the doors. Like, there's one screen, sort of like a Model 3, and it's, in the dash. There's nothing in front of you.
Okay.
This
is all electric, right?
It's all electric.
Okay.
And it's got pretty darn good. I think it's like 330 or 350, something like that. It's the fastest Volvo's ever produced. If you get the dual motor, it's like 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds.
Very cool.
Wow.
It's like 3.8 or something like that.
Yeah,
In the dual
yeah.
motor.
3.6
Yeah. Okay. 3.6.
to
See?
62.
Oh, there you go. So it's 3.5 seconds to 60. In an
That's
electric
impressive.
Volvo. an electric Volvo, the safe car, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And it
It's
looks good too.
yeah, it's attractive. Harvey was bashing the Cullinan. I agree, it's not that good looking, the Cullinan. And I think the funniest thing of the Cullinan, when we had a Cullinan black badge that we reviewed when it first came out, and the funniest thing that I remember, because the press office didn't hand it off to us, the dealership did, right? And the dealer guy is like, whatever you do, don't put any pets in the back. Because in the trunk, the back end of the SUV, there's a glass window between there and the passenger compartment to make it more sound insulated, the passenger compartment. So if you put something back, there's no air. You
gosh.
can literally, he told me that people who
Suffocate.
were buying them had actually killed their pets by putting them in the back of their Cullinan.
Oh no, no!
Because
my
it's a Rolls
God.
Royce, it is going to be sealed.
Yeah,
There's nothing. There's not
exactly.
even
So
a molecule of
that-
air getting through.
That's like you should have a dog door button or something, like lower the window.
Yeah.
or something. But anyway, the EX30 I think is a killer, and the price, it's like 42 grand. I think it's like early 40s for the dual motor, like all in, maybe.
So
45.
they were going to bring this, I think, over here earlier, but
Yeah,
then
it was delayed for a long time.
and it
I
had to do
drove.
with.
I drove
Yeah,
it.
there's-
Is it made in
Years.
China?
I think that was the problem. It was made in
Might
China, and they
be.
were going to tariff the heck out of it, and so they've been trying to get around that. I think
Yeah,
they're bringing
I
it
first
through
drove
Mexico
it
now.
at the Spring Rally 2 years ago, and just fell in love with it. And then we drove it again, maybe a month ago or so, and still really, really like it. It's really well packaged. So if you're looking for an EV that's small, fast, spacious, maybe check out the Volvo EX30. And it is every bit of Volvo.
And apparently a great price.
Yeah, it is
So-
every bit of Volvo,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good one too. Good call. I need to get into that Cadillac, it sounds like.
Oh, beautiful.
You won't want to
You'll
get
love
out
it.
of the
You'll love it.
Cadillac.
I'm going to be moving into the Cadillac. And what was
Yeah.
You
what was the
probably
price?
could.
What was the price
Oh,
of this
yeah, I
iMac?
forgot about that.
167 as tested, 167.
Okay, so I would be moving into the Cadillac.
That's right. I'll
It's
be
the
taking out
price
a
of a condo.
mortgage for that car.
Take out the mortgage for the Cadillac. When is automotive financing going to be like a mortgage?
I was just going to ask because you go buy an RV, you mortgage that thing,
Right.
and you're paying like house payments on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's even though it's a depreciating asset. So how soon? Because these prices are crazy. I don't think we drove anything at that rally with maybe one or two exceptions that was probably under the $90,000 mark. And it seemed like everything we were driving was 130, 140, 160. We drove the Rollses. They're more than that. But it's even like a car like the EX90, you're looking at, okay, a 3-row SUV. The gas version starts around 55, 60,000, but then there's like 30 grand. I mean, obviously there were options on this one, but still.
Yeah, this is the ultra package, so it had everything on it.
Everything,
but,
everything,
yeah.
It was expensive.
Did it make coffee?
But no, it did not make coffee. But
Should.
I'm sure
should.
you could. There was an outlet, so you could plug in a cappuccino machine.
Nice.
Somebody's got one. That's
That's
a
awesome.
car that has a cappuccino machine like option in it, or had one maybe many years ago. I forget, but hey,
I'm
if you're
sure
listening,
some
Volvo,
Italian car did at
Yeah,
some
so
point.
Yeah.
Jennifer's walking up to the vehicle, and Brenda's sitting there going,
would you like a heart?
"Would you like your cappuccino?"
No, I'd like a hot chocolate, but thank you.
Oh, that's right. You don't drink
Um,
coffee.
I don't drink coffee. But with the
what
coffee
is that
craze, it's great. With the coffee craze, like you would think Starbucks would partner with Ford or something. So you have the F-150 Starbucks edition. And
Yeah,
that,
you would
that,
think,
that
you would
big
think.
center console they've got in the F-150 that flips open. You can do the business meetings and stuff in there. Like literally, you got a pop up like coffee machine from Starbucks. That'd be great. There you go, Ford.
would be
There's your-
hilarious.
I mean,
there's your next
it's
special edition
it's a
F-150.
great idea. I mean, they had the vacuum in the minivans. Why not?
Exactly.
Right?
Why not? Your Starbucks machine. So, all right. So we started this conversation talking about how, like, right now is probably a good time to look for 2025 model years because we're switching over to 2026. Brendan, we were talking about prices of cars. Paul, everything was over $100,000 at the rally. So now might be your chance to get a Cadillac or, Volvo EX30 or Golf R. I don't know, Golf Rs, they really don't mark down, but
Let me throw this out there. If
ID
you
Buzz.
want, if you want a Corvette with the Great Wall of Buttons, you have to buy a 25 because that's going away in 26. So
and it should go away because
Yeah.
the Great Wall of Buttons is kind of messed up.
It's
My opinion.
It takes a good, it wasn't my favorite design feature,
No.
and apparently not
No.
a lot of other people's either because it's gone now. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
for
that,
sure.
and we didn't even get to, they don't bring us the cool cars because, if we had brought us a ZR1, I'm sure we would be talking about that now. But Chevy's very stingy with who gets to drive.
Or even an
Really, really
E-Ray.
cool.
Like they
Yeah, they
sometimes
bring
I
anything.
just question what they bring, what the manufacturers bring to these press launches. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Again,
they-
it's what they want marketed.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, they don't have
ZR1s
any trouble selling the
Yeah, ZR1s are
ZR1.
selling themselves, so
Yeah.
they don't really need
They
press
don't.
to
They don't
drive
need
that.
us to ruin a car for them to sell
Exactly.
more of them.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
They could
Very
they could
true.
sell that one. So, oh, well, this has been fun. So we would love to hear from you, listeners out there. What cars are you looking forward to driving? What's your favorite car out right now? If you had unlimited funds and could replace something in your garage or just add to your garage, what would you go out and get? Any of the ones that we've talked about, or let us know down in the comments below what you'd go for. And as always, you can find us at wearemotoredriven.com. That's Sons of Speed are over there, Auto Exotica, The Median, and Rides and Drives, all in one place under one umbrella, just for you. Also on YouTube, we all ganged together, and all you got to do is youtube.com something. We are Motor Driven. Like there's a slash or something, right? I don't remember. But just go into YouTube and look up We Are Motor Driven as one word, and you can find all of our videos and a bunch of the reviews and the cars you talked about tonight. We really appreciate you listening in on this. Please do give us a like and a subscribe. As Brendan mentioned earlier, you can listen to all of our back episodes. We've got 10 episodes. So this is episode 11 right now. Almost coming in on a dozen, which is awesome. So thank you for listening. And we will see you next time on We Are Motor Driven.